In this example, I need to solve for t in the equation a equals p times the quantity 1 plus rt. This type of equation is often called a literal equation or formula, and in fact this is the formula to calculate the ending balance of an account that is invested with simple interest. So quickly reviewing, to solve a formula for a specified variable, treat that variable as if it were the only variable in the equation. Treat all other variables as if they were numbers. Now this problem can be solved several different ways. I'm just going to solve it two different ways, and I think the first method is the simplest. Now remember, I'm solving this equation for t, so I need to get the t all by itself on one side of the equation. In the first method, I'm going to distribute the p into the parentheses, so I have p times 1 is p, plus p times rt is just prt. I need to get the PRT by itself, so I'm going to have to subtract p from both sides of the equation. On the left-hand side, two unlike terms can't combine, so I have a minus p equals p minus p adds up to 0, so on the right-hand side, I just get p times r times t. Now, how are the p and the r attached to the t? They're attached by multiplication, so you undo it by dividing both sides by p times r. On the right-hand side, the p's reduce, the r's reduce, so the only thing left on the right-hand side is t, which is what I'm trying to find, equals, now be careful, you cannot reduce these two p's, because the p in the numerator is not a factor of the whole numerator. So t equals a minus p divided by p times r. And that is one method of solving this equation. Now in the second method over here, the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of the p. So I'm going to divide both sides by p. These p's reduce. I get a divided by p equals 1 plus rt. To get rt by itself, the first thing I'm going to have to do is subtract 1 from both sides of this equation. On the left-hand side, unlike terms can't combine them, so I have a divided by p minus 1 equals 1 minus 1 is 0, so the only thing left on the right-hand side is r times t. Now to get t by itself, all I have to do is divide both sides by r. On the right-hand sides, my r's reduce. I'm going to write my answer up here. So on the right-hand side, I just get t equals, but on the left-hand side, I have a complex fraction. So I'm going to turn the denominator of r into a fraction by dividing it by 1. And then to simplify a complex fraction, you take the fraction in the numerator, a over p minus 1, and multiply it by the reciprocal of the fraction in the denominator. Well, the reciprocal of r over 1 is 1 over r. So now t equals a over p times 1 over r. Well, a times 1 is a, p times r is p times r, minus 1 times 1 over r, which is just 1 over r. So now I have solved it by method 2. And one thing, if you look at these two answers, they look different, but that's because in method 1, everything is over a common denominator. In method 2, it is not. Of these two methods, I think method 1 is by far the easiest, since I never have to mess with a complex fraction.